I'm ready. I'm waiting to talk about a rookie that I think's gonna go crazy this year when we get
Yeah,
to
I
it.
can't,
Do
I
it. We'll
can't
do
wait
it.
for the rookie conversation a little bit. The rookie conversation is going to be really fun to talk about, I think.
Welcome to the Huddle Within podcast, where we go beyond the surface to uncover the real impact of sports on our lives, whether it's lessons of resilience, the passion that fuels us, or the stories that connect us all. This is where the game gets personal. I am Daniel, a regular sports fan just like you, and together we'll explore what sports truly means beyond the surface. So step right into the huddle and let's get into it. What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Huddle Within podcast. I have brought two Yanks all the way from the United States, and I'm super excited for this one. I love the NFL, and we're going to be talking about the NFL. I'm not the biggest hardcore NFL fan. My knowledge is not top tier, so I'm relying on the two guys in this pod to sort of carry this podcast and throw some knowledge to you and myself. So without further ado, thought I'd introduce the boys, starting with TJ and Kenny. How's it going, guys?
All good. All good.
Going good, man. Going good. Ready for the season to start.
Ready.
Yeah, so the reason why we're sort of doing this podcast is because obviously, for those that do know, the NFL season starts Thursday night in Eastern time and Friday morning for us Australians, and really excited to sort of get the season going and sort of continue to build my knowledge of the NBA. I fell for the Saints. Don't ask me why. Terrible mistake, but went and saw them a few years back in the States, watched them play. But you guys are both different New York fans, so I think TJ, starting with you, how come you are in love with the Jets?
No, it's more of just like I had to pick a New York team. I always wanted to go to games, so Buffalo is too far of a drive, and then it was either Jets or Giants. And at that point, it was just a coin toss. But I became a fan in about 2011, and we just had Mark Sanchez made the playoffs, and that's it. Watching the playoffs, I was ready to go. We have not made the playoffs since.
Well,
Man.
Kenny's a Giants fan, so the opposite
Yeah,
side.
I mean, I'm a little spoiled as a Giants fan because, and even then, I wasn't even really a big time fan at the time when they won the Super Bowls with Eli. But I kind of came onto it, funny enough, with like Madden, like with gaming, because I used to love gaming a lot back like when I was in like middle school, high school. Even now, I still play, but like back then, it was like I was playing hours and hours a day with friends. And one day, my friends were like, "Oh, let's you want to play some Madden, some football, whatever." I'm like, "Yeah, sure." I got into it, started learning how to play, started learning players, all this stuff, and they're like, dude, you gotta watch like NFL. It's like so much fun. You get addicted to it mad easily. It's only like mainly Sundays every week, And I was like, all right, so I started watching it. I became a fan of the Giants for my family. A lot of my family is Giants fans. I do have family that are Jets fans too, but I lean more towards the Giants when I was younger. Kind of around again, I think right after the latest Super Bowl win. So basically the tail end of Eli's prime a little bit, maybe Odell era was kind of like my startup in a little bit, so I was kind of fun to watch at the time. And now here I am, so kind of like TJ at this point, maybe not as him, but I'm kind of just in a point where I'm like, all right, I'm hoping we're good this year, but if not, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, it's been a good journey so far.
Yeah, talk to me about the rivalries too. Obviously, different sides of New York. How big is it? Like, we come from obviously backgrounds of footy, Australian rules, and also soccer, where we see massive rivalries there. How is it sort of with you guys? I know you don't really play each other during the season. It's quite rare that it does happen.
It depends. It's so I'll just briefly tell and let TJ kind of take over for a little bit too. I think it's tough because New York is like a fun matchup. It's never like a rivalry unless we're both good at the same time. I always feel like when we played back in the day, it was very tough. Now recently, it's been like really bad. Like last time we played, I believe was a couple years ago. We were both they called it the toilet bowl pretty much. Like it was like we were both bad, tanking for picks, and it was like man, like that was a tough time. But it's fun just to say okay, and it's fun to kind of go at each other because they're in the opposite conference. It's different like where like in basketball where you have the Knicks and Nets. They're like in the same conference competing against each other. That's a little bit different. For NFL with the Jets and Giants, obviously one's an AFC, one's an NFC. So it's definitely fun when you get a chance to play them. So TJ, go ahead.
I feel like more of there's no hate there. During the regular season, of course, I have my little side bets with my buddies. Who's gonna be better? little money up in the air. But at the end of the day, if one team, even including the Bills, make the playoffs and the other two teams don't of New York, everybody kind of shifts to that one team that makes it. So once it's playoffs, we all kind of come together, and root for one New York team at least.
I was gonna say that's a big thing with New York. The mentality of like the fans is like a lot of times like if you're not a diehard fan of a team, you're mostly just gonna root for whatever team's in. So it's like like TJ said, if the Jets and Giants are both out, we're not hating on the Bills. We're like, oh, we want the Bills to win. They're New York still, even if they're not by our area in metropolitan, but they're upstate, far upstate, like 5-6 hours away at least. So, but still, they're a fun team to watch, and you'll root for them even if the Jets and Giants aren't in there.
Yeah, they're probably the best of the three, especially with the likes of Josh Allen.
No right now, no doubt.
Yeah,
So
if you
it's
go
always
back
good
10 years, the Bills were where we are now. They had nothing.
I'll be honest.
Josh Allen saved their career, their like whole like team. To be honest, like that franchise, Josh Allen really revived them, and it goes to show, man, when you get a quarterback like that, it just
changes
only
everything
goes from there, man.
Yeah, talk to me about the impact. We can go straight into that. Talk to me about the impact of quarterbacks in this league and in this sort of sport, and how much of a big impact it is. It is said that is the hardest position in sports, and watching it and getting into it, you really see that. And like you said, with franchise players, you can see how they really change it. Because honestly, 10 years ago, you could have told me anything about the Buffalo Bills. I would know nothing about them. And now that Josh Allen's come in, he's become an MVP, and he's also become probably one of the best quarterbacks right now in the league. So yeah, talk to me about quarterbacks and that impact too.
TJ, you go first on this one.
I feel like I could perfectly start off with just a prime example of Aaron Rodgers coming to New York. He came to New York. That's it. The expectations were through the roof because quarterback is the number one position in the NFL. You need a good quarterback to succeed. Aaron Rodgers comes to the Jets. First game, 5 minutes into the game, tears his Achilles. Here we go, right to our backup quarterback, Zach Wilson. And instantly, you knew that the season and our chances of making the Super Bowl just dramatically changed. And sure enough, it did. The season went up in flames, and anybody that bet the over on our wins that season was highly disappointed.
Yeah. I was going to say kind of even a crazier example. If you look back when Alex Smith was on the Chiefs and he went down, and then Pat Mahomes kind of his start and rise into the Chiefs. You look at that team when he took over, it was very similar to Alex Smith's team. And Alex Smith was a good quarterback, solid quarterback, but he had the same staff, mostly the same players. So the personnel and the staff were the same. All that changed was one thing, the quarterback. Pat Mahomes came in, he got drafted, had a red shirt year, came in after Alex Smith got injured a little bit. He was having a down year or whatever. And then he came in, and you saw from the moment that he stepped on the field, even with just Tyreek Hill emerged, I feel like, when Mahomes stepped in. Same thing with Kelsey. Kelsey was a great tight end always. Everyone knows Kelsey's been a great tight end since the beginning of his career. Mahomes came in, and it automatically was just like, wow, like these guys are going to be unbelievably hard to beat. Their offense is insane. All they need to do is get Mahomes the ball. And you saw in their first year, they went toe-to-toe with the Patriots at the time, who were like obviously the world beaters. They were always the top team. Tom Brady was still in his prime, he was older, but clearly still in his prime. He was still finding ways. Yeah, like he was still like Tom Brady. So when you see a guy like that going toe-to-toe with one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest, right? And you see how much of an impact that had on their team and also their fan base. Like the fan base, I don't think the Chiefs fan base was ever as crazy as it's been since Mahomes stepped in. I feel like they were always a good team, always a team that you said, okay, the fans, like they care. But now it's like they're one of the best fan bases in the country in terms of just the team, like the way they handle things, like the Red Nation, all this stuff. It's insane. Like Mahomes came in and just absolutely not only transformed their franchise, but like even the fan base is like they are experiencing highs that every fan base wishes they've had. So, quarterback is the most important thing, I think.
You're basically insinuating that if it wasn't for Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce would never have married Taylor Swift.
No, that's how big the impact. Like I said, like I think Kelce. Everyone knew Kelce, Tyreek Hill are like great. They're great players. Everyone knows that. But like you see great players on other teams. We saw Calvin Johnson on the Detroit Lions for years be an elite receiver, best receiver in the league at some point with Stafford or whoever. Like, and it would never led to win. So it's like you always looked at it and like, man, like imagine Calvin Johnson had like Mahomes or he had somebody like that, or he was all part of a team that great. His legacy would have been undeniable. So it's like you look at players, like sometimes the talent is there for like the skill players, but you need your quarterback to be like unbelievable to like kind of just be that top tier team.
That's true, and I think the joke went right over his head, TJ, with the Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift. But no, you made a good point. With the Chiefs, obviously people are starting to know him because of Patrick Mahomes, and the first person you sort of know as a casual or someone that doesn't follow the sport, you always know sort of the quarterbacks, and everyone knows who Patrick Mahomes is. He's transcending to be close to Tom Brady's level, probably not there yet, and probably won't get there, but at the moment, someone that's definitely getting close to that. But we'll move on into sort of the season coming up and going into sort of the teams that are the favorites and looking like they're going to be powerhouses in the NFL. And obviously, the first team we can look at is the Philadelphia Eagles, obviously winning the Super Bowl last year. And then I'm looking at teams like the Detroit Lions, who want to make a sort of statement and come back from their disappointment last year to a team that is ascending, and that is the Washington Commanders. I was thinking about the previous name, but don't want to get that brought up. But the Commanders there, looking to be kind of sort of ascending as well with their quarterback, which you've mentioned, that has also changed their franchise, Jalen Daniels. So, I mean, talk to me about the teams that are going into this season and looking like they're going to deliver and sort of make a push for the Super Bowl.
I'll start off with one team that just made an acquisition recently. They have a quarterback that came in similar to how Aaron Rodgers came in back when Brett Favre was around, and Jordan Love and the Packers, man. That team is going to be really hard to beat this year. I think they're going to be an up-and-coming team. I'm not going to put them ahead of like a team like the Lions or the Eagles yet, who are more established. They have a lot more of a track record behind them. Obviously, the Packers did make it far last year. They did have a good season still, but I think it all depends. Again, like Jordan Love is going to have to be that next step quarterback. Like he's shown flashes of being great. But obviously I think Commanders as well. Like I'll give Jaden Daniels his flowers too. Like he's completely turned that franchise around. He's made them a contender now. But the Packers with getting Micah Parsons, man, especially for the price, like, and they got now the Matthew Golden. They are Golden, right? The new receiver they guys just drafted. They still have Jordan Love. They still have Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs took a big lead last year.
That team is going to be so good, man. I think they're like probably my favorite to get out of there. Like forgetting the Eagles, I would probably put the Packers second, but I would not be surprised at all if they came out and just steamrolled their way through and they made it to the Super Bowl this year. So the Packers are probably my team, I would say right now.
I completely agree with the Packers, 100%. But another close in the NFC is the Rams. Matthew Stafford's Matthew Stafford. The guy could throw the ball. Giving him Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua stepping up in a big way last season.
That's my boy, first round pick, NFL fantasy, baby.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, he's got two wide receiver ones on that side of the field. He's got Kyron Williams that just got, I think he was a rookie last season. He had a phenomenal year. I think that, the Rams, solid defense, great coach. His mind is insane when it comes to football. I think the Rams make some big plays this year, and I think it's possible that they win their division.
I think pounding on the Rams though too, right? We forget to realize how close they were to being the Eagles this past year. Like they were so close to being the Eagles in that game. They were literally a pass away from just getting past the Eagles. And now you're talking about the Super Bowl champion. What happens then? Now the whole thing changes. They play now the Rams advance, and now okay, do the Rams make it to the Super Bowl? If they do they win it? Like that game was so close. It was such an entertainment game too. Like it was so much fun to watch. And I agree with you. Stafford has to have some respect still. Like we talk about guys, like older guys are still in their prime, playing their great best ball. Like Stafford's up there, man. He's still good.
Devontae Adams still deliver as a wide receiver.
I think I'm gonna say really quick that I don't think he even needs to be a wide receiver one though with Puka there. That's the only thing I'll say.
That's
like,
true.
I don't even think he needs to be. Like if he could just be the best wide receiver two, that makes them dangerous. So that's all. That's the only thing I'll say.
Doesn't he always want the ball though? That's the thing.
Yeah. So
True.
I think at the end of the day, Puka's gonna have more yards, but touchdowns. Devontae Adams within the 20-yard line, the red zone, even within the 10, a little toss up to Devontae Adams. He's gonna have more touchdowns, and he will have the most touchdowns on the Rams.
Good call, quality call. And then moving on, who do you reckon is the most overrated team right now, and who is probably the most underrated team? I think for Overrated, you're always going to go to the Chiefs as probably the biggest hate watch, given that they've been so good, but it's hard to knock them down from being up there. But maybe still sort of overrated in the sense that the teams have sort of elevated in front. And then I think for me, looking at some underrated teams, you did talk about Washington. I still think Minnesota Vikings are quite underrated, given that they still have Jetters. But yeah, talk to me about sort of those overrated, underrated teams at the moment. Who's getting sort of the most hype in the media right now that you think is probably not deserving of that at the moment?
I think I'm going to start, and it's going to get some people mad, but the most overrated team in the league right now is the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen cannot do everything by himself. He's throwing to nobody really that stands out. He's, him and James Cook. I think James Cook takes a step back this year. Josh Allen's running for double-digit touchdowns every season. It's not going to happen. I think they make him throw the ball more, and he's a great passer, but I don't think his wide receiver core is good enough to keep him with the top-tier teams.
Sticking with overrated too, I guess. I disagree with your take on the Bills just because I think Josh Allen is just
talk about that.
Yeah, I'm just going to – I don't disagree entirely. I do see your point. I do think that's like a fair team. I think it's a fair team to say, though, because they are like ranked up there. So it's like, okay, like I get it. But I disagree just because I think Josh Allen is that good. Like I just think Josh Allen is so good. Like we've seen Brady have turned guys in some people. Like he turned Julian Edelman, a guy that we've never seen. Like he was like, oh, coming in. When he came into the league, it was like, wow, like who is this guy? He's like a backup quarterback. Then they're throwing him at running back. They're throwing him like they didn't know what his position was. And Tom Brady turned him into something that ended up being like one of the best receivers that's come out of the game, like especially as like a utility player. He wasn't like some big time like Calvin Johnson, Jerry Rice, like he wasn't anything like that, but he was just so good and so reliable. And I think Josh Allen has similar qualities. Like I think he has guys there that are good enough, and I think he has some young talent there that I think has some potential. Like Keon Coleman, I think will have a better year this year. And you look at even Khalil Shakir, I think he's a good player. He's a kind of reliable player for him. And I believe in Josh Allen so much. I can't overrate him. I can't overrate their team as much. But a team that I do think is a bit overrated now, I do think, man, it's crazy, but I do think the Bengals are a little overrated, bro. And I get Joe Burrow. Listen, Joe Burrow, I love Joe Burrow. I love Jamar Chase. Those are like their offense is so elite. But the last few years, man, when are they going to win a game in September, bro? They haven't won a game in September the last like 4 years. And every year we come in, oh, the Bengals are going to be this. I want to see them come out and start the season off hot for once. I want to see them come out and explode and like say, okay, like we're a contending team. Because every year we always like to rank these guys at the top because, again, their QB receiver duo is unbelievable. They got Chase Brown now. They have a lot of guys. They have even some players on the defense now. I think they're pretty intriguing. But like, I feel like every year everyone's like, oh, we can't watch it. We can't forget about the Bengals. We got to watch out for the Bengals. It's like, do we though? Because at the same time, it's like they come out, they play the Ravens week 1 every year or the past few years. I know they have maybe they have a different matchup this year. I haven't checked the schedule that great. But like, they come out, it's like, dude, like you guys are supposed to be so good. And you guys come out and drop a dud. You go 0-2, 0-3 to start the season. You got to dig your season out of a hole every year. So I feel like we always overrate them just because the QB receiver duo. That's probably my my hot take for overrated.
But to be fair, it is.
So the Bengals do open up this year against Cleveland.
Oh, okay.
That's one of those games where everybody's looking at it. Bengals have an easy win. But you got to remember in football, divisional games, anything could happen.
Yeah.
So is there a chance with Joe Flacco starting that he beats Joe Burrow and the Bengals? Absolutely. I think so.
I just think that they always are talked about so highly, like they're like going to be the contending team, a top team, and I do rank them highly. Don't get me wrong, but just like some people put them like 3, 2, like even close to 1 sometimes, and especially in the AFC, I'm like, I don't know, man, I don't know. There's so much remain to be seen from that. Like I have to see.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, but I think the 1-2 punch is something that's probably gets them the hype that you probably think that is overrated. Yeah. That's for sure.
That's like the thing. That's the whole point. It's like that whole thing usurps everything else. Like all the negatives goes away because it's like, oh, you got Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase.
Yeah, but you look at last season, how good were they? And they couldn't get anything.
Joe Burrow had a borderline MVP season last year. He had a borderline MVP season last year. He was unbelievable throughout the year. But it still resulted in them not like did they make the wild card last year or they just missed it or something like that? I believe they just missed it or they had just made it.
They just missed it. Yeah, they did not.
They just missed it. And those two guys had some insane seasons, bro. Like it was insane to watch. And I mean, I don't know. That's why I feel like it's like you can't rate a team that highly that just missed the playoffs and their team hasn't drastically changed. Like it doesn't look like completely different. It's still the same core. So it's like I don't want to put so much on it. Like I don't want to say they're bad, but they're not this elite team in my opinion.
And realistically, how much more better can those two be as well? Like they hit their peaks last season. Not saying that they'll decline or anything, but if they're keeping that output, which was ridiculous, can you be confident to say that they can do more? Like, can Jamar Chase get more yards? Can Joe Burrow get more touchdowns or passing yards and all that? So, like, it's something
It's
to
a
really
lot.
look at.
It's a lot to
Yeah.
ask from two guys though to carry your whole season. It's a lot to ask of two players because one, and that's another thing too we don't take into account is injuries. Anybody that knows sports, injuries always play a role at some point in time. We're seeing it already. A lot of guys, there's some guys that we know that are already having it listed out. Like a guy, for example, in Houston, Joe Mixon, their best running back, he's out for a little bit of time. Like that impacts their season. You know, God forbid, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, one of them misses time. The season basically becomes a wash because it's like, yeah, you have T. Higgins there for Jamar Chase, fine. But Joe Burrow has had a history of getting these nagging injuries. He had a wrist injury for a little bit. Then he had some other type of injuries too that like affected him and hindered him, you know? So it's tough to put them that highly when the margin for error is so low for them. That's
For
the
sure.
biggest thing.
For sure. All right, we'll move on to then the most underrated team that's probably got no coverage at the moment, like the Saints, but they're not underrated. They're just not rated, not good enough at the moment. But yeah, most underrated team coming in that you think is going to be a sleeper. I'm going to go with one at the start. I'm going to go with the Las Vegas Raiders. That's
Great.
one for sort of ascension, especially with the rookie that we'll talk about a bit later when we go on to rookies. But I just feel as though that with him coming in, with Brock Bowers having a second year and sort of them getting that improvement there, I feel like they're going to take a leap moving forward. But don't have too much analysis on it. So I'd love you to talk about them and then also some other teams as well.
So I actually have Aston Genti in fantasy football. We know this. I think rookies getting drafted, running backs getting drafted, top 10.
They're always a hit.
They're fed the ball. They are consistently, they're the workhorse. They're the workhorse of that team. They got Geno Smith, I believe, right? They got Geno Smith, Brock Bowers, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with Jacoby Myers. Will he
He's solid.
the wide receiver one there, or will he come maybe to the Jets or just another team that needs a weapon? But I think it's a solid offense, but the defense needs to prove itself because that defense was not that great last year.
I love that Raiders pick. That I think you guys hit the nail on the head. Genti was honestly, whenever you draft a running back in the top 10, you have to justify that pick because normally everyone in the league and the executives around the league that talk about that stuff, they're like, if you're going to draft a running back, if you're going to draft a running back that high, it's like the Giants when they drafted Saquon too. It's like you drafted Saquon that early, but then you see his talent, you see how much of an impact he has on the game with the run game, and it's like, wow, okay, this guy is like clearly he's unbelievable. So Genti's like going to be on the spotlight with that, and I think he'll deliver for sure. Plus having Geno back there, Geno's a reliable quarterback. He's proven year in year out now since he came back that he's a reliable quarterback. He knows how to play. He knows how to manage the game. So you kind of look at all those things, and I do think Amari Cooper is a big signing for them with the whole Jacoby Myers thing because Amari Cooper still talented. He still showed he could play at times when he has the right QB behind him and the right system. And I do like what they have going there too. So I agree with that. I actually really like that pick. That's like the sleeper pick. I wasn't expecting, honestly. So that was a good pick.
Yeah, no, I do know
TJ,
a little bit.
What's your underrated pick, TJ? I'm curious.
I'm gonna go with the Arizona Cardinals. I think if Marvin Harrison Jr. just feed him the ball, him and Trey McBride, they can easily put up 3 touchdowns a game. James Conner, may he take a step back? Yes. But the kid could still ball. He's great receiving back. I think that spread it out, let Kyler Murray use his legs a little bit more, which is risky because he's, very injury prone in past seasons. But I think you just let that Marvin Harrison and Kyler Murray grow over this past offseason. I think we see a lot out of them. And Trey McBride, which you can't forget about.
That's a huge pick. That's massive.
That's a good pick. I like that team too. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't really thinking about them too much, but
Me either.
That was a good point with that.
You'd make a lot of Cardinals fans happy. Maybe we tag them in and they can tune into that.
There you go. Now any of the Cardinals fans watching this podcast right now are going to be really happy to hear that. They're going to be like, "Oh, follow. We're watching this now."
And you, Kenny, what's yours?
I'm debating. All right, so I'm going to list two, but I have one main one that I really like. So the main one that I really like, man, it's the Patriots. The Patriots, for some reason, for me, I don't know why. Their defense to me looks unbelievably like improved. I like their defense. They got Trey Hendrickson. They drafted a great running back who I like. And I'm very curious, and I think Drake May is gonna have a big season. I like Drake May a lot. I think he's shown the talent. He gives me the vibes of like a guy that has it. I'm not saying he's going to be a top tier, like, like a Jaden Daniels or a Mahomes. I'm not saying anything like that, but I think he could be at very least a top 10, top 15 quarterback at minimum in his second year, which is a big jump. And the Patriots need that, to be honest. I think they obviously they haven't had that since they had Tom Brady. So I really like the Patriots. But the other team that I refuse to sleep on year in and year out is the Buccaneers. Ever since Baker Mayfield came in, they have won me over. I really like the Buccaneers, man. They're like, I know Saints fans and
Yeah.
any team in that division hate that pick, but
I'll give you a fun fact before we go. I was this close to supporting the Buccaneers before the Saints, before I was
really,
choosing an NFL team, only
really,
because of I'll go for Manchester United, and it's the same owners,
yeah,
but I realized how much I hate the owners. So it's such a good choice that I didn't go for them. So yeah,
okay, yeah.
Buccaneers. And then
Listen, I
screw Mark
gotta
Evans
mention
as
them.
well.
I gotta mention them just because I think Baker showed he could be a really good quarterback last year. I'm not saying he's not an elite quarterback, but he's a good quarterback. He's serviceable. He's good enough to where I think they can win a lot of games. And they showed potential last year to be a good team. Like they had some chances last year to advance as well and to get into a higher chance to get into a Super Bowl. Like they had some really good chances.
It's the
Mike
worst
Evans,
conference.
all time.
Worst
I'm an
conference.
all-time Mike Evans fan. All-time Mike Evans fan, bro. I love Mike Evans. Think he's one of the best
I'm
receivers.
Marshawn Lattimore all the way, man. That rivalry fed families, man. I was always
I
on
know.
Lattimore's side, but now he's at the Commanders, so that's not going to happen anymore. But they did have that playoff matchup. They didn't really get into it much, but it was just funny how things sort of
Yeah,
focused
it's
on
crazy.
storyline. But
But
how
like
terrible
it's
is the NFC? Off topic,
oh my god.
Yeah.
I mean, I was looking at that right
the
now
worst
actually.
division in the comp, and the Saints are in it, of course. Probably the worst team in there.
I think this year it's going to go to the Atlanta Falcons, though.
Yeah, I agree.
Falcons are a good team. They were another team I think people aren't talking about enough either. I was looking at them as well. There's a couple teams I like for that like underrated topic. The Falcons are up there too. Like they could win that division for sure.
I think it's
I think
between them and
Falcons
the Buccaneers
Buccaneers are going to fight for it all season, but
for
I
sure.
think the Falcons make a next step this year. I do.
Yeah, and they have their best players. Some of their best players are so young, like Penix, young quarterback now coming into his first full season as the starting QB. Drake London, you still got Bijan, obviously, and they have some depth in those positions as well. So that's really good. And then
And
their
you can't
defense.
forget Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, I hate that guy because he's a bad fantasy
Why?
output. Bad fantasy output guy. Bad fantasy output guy. Like you pick him, you think, oh, he's gonna have a big year this year, and every year you think that way. He just continues to let you down. He has one big game a year. Don't get me wrong. He has that one big game a year. If you're lucky to have him starting that one game, congrats. But like I don't like that guy. But but that the team overall though, like all joking aside, it is a good team. Like it's a really good team. But I mean, I can't help but look at these divisions, man. Like some of these guys got cakewalks. I mean, even the only one I really like is the West, and always the NFC West is always a close one. I feel like just because the Cardinals usually pretty decent, Seahawks usually always good too. Even if they're not the best, they still have they still win games. So it's not like they're not like 2-15 bad. But NFC East now, I think the Eagles and Commanders are running that. You talk about the South. You said the Buccaneers and Falcons for the time being are running is till Panthers Saints figure it out. Man, I don't know. The NFC North's always good too. I'll give them that because they got some good teams there now too.
That's the Bears and the Packers and stuff you're talking about?
Yeah, but then you have the Vikings in there now with the Packers being good. The Vikings are still going to be a good team, and the Lions. I mean,
That's a great division.
and the Bears actually improved this year too. So I think the Bears could have a decent enough year, but they're in a tough division. So
But they always make it good, though, because they're always up against Green Bay, and that's always a big rivalry and a big matchup. So that division is always excites me the most. I'm going to
100%.
give a few minutes to talk about my team, the New
Yeah.
Orleans Saints.
Go
And I
ahead.
want you guys to give me sort of a objective opinion on us. Obviously, we've picked up a new quarterback, drafted in Tyler Shaw, but Spencer Rattler, who played last year, starting in and out for Derek Carr, is going to be penciled in as our starting quarterback. We did get the offensive coordinator from the Philly Eagles, so a good coaching change for us there. But I think other than that, we're not looking too good at all. I think it's going to really rely on Chris Olave playing a full season, but that guy can't seem to be healthy for us to even get, I think, more than 6 or 7 wins. But for me, I'm thinking the worst. I'm thinking we're going to probably, at best, get 7 wins. And if we do get more than that, I'll be very impressed.
TJ, you go first on this one. I'm kind of still thinking a little bit.
I think when it comes to the Saints, 7 wins is way too high. I would be surprised if you guys win 2 games.
I was thinking that too.
I'm thinking optimistic. I'm thinking optimistic.
I was thinking that too. I was thinking
we aren't that bad. We're not.
No,
surely we're not that
absolutely
bad.
Absolutely not. I think you guys are going to be just as bad as that Browns team we had years ago where they went 0-17. The Saints are in such a tough spot that I think the only thing you got looking forward to is next year's draft and who will be your quarterback next year.
Arch Manning.
I think you guys 100% get a top 3 pick. You say Arch Manning, but Ohio State had him clamped the other day. So,
one game. It's one
That's
game.
all I know, to be honest, from the class
game,
right
man.
now. I have to do
He's
my
gonna show
research.
out. He'll show out. You can't judge him off one bad game, man.
I don't know. I think Kamara will be on a different team sooner than you think. You know, I mean, think about all these teams
love him
that
there.
just need a running back. He's been with you guys for what feels like forever, but I think it's time to part ways with him.
They really love him there, though. From when I went to New Orleans and I was chatting with some people, not saying that I knew a lot. I brought up that and they went crazy. They were like, we can't be trading AK. But obviously, those are the fans speaking as fans. Obviously, if we do have a bad season, that boy needs to go somewhere to compete, and I think he'll be unbelievable if he does. I've also got him on fantasy, so I'm hoping he shows out. But really, less than 3 wins. Do you think we're that bad in our division?
I don't know about less than 3. I think it would be around there. I think it'll be. I would say 3 to 5 wins would be like where I'm at with it. I just think this is the thing, right? I don't want to like throw away the season before it starts. You can't just throw away season before it starts. We've seen some crazy things happen. Like I think even last year, like just talking about this team, just to kind of just sidetrack really quick. Like we talked about like this way with the Broncos last year a little bit. Bo Nix, we weren't sure about who he was going to be. Like he was kind of in the same kind of position as the current quarterback for the Saints is. What's his name? I don't know how to pronounce his name correct. It's Tyler what?
Tyler Shaw.
Tyler Shaw. Okay. Shaw, yeah. Bo Nix and Tyler Shaw were kind of in the same position. Like Bo Nix kind of took it and ran with it. And like they had an underrated season last year. They played really well. Obviously, their team was I think their team was better, obviously, but like I think same situation. Tyler Show's coming in, kind of saying, okay, I got to prove to everybody that I'm the quarterback they drafted. I'm the guy. They don't have to worry about drafting QB next year. So it's going to be.
He won't be playing though.
Bring in like, what's up?
He won't start this season though. It's going to go to Rattler. They've given
Rattler. Oh, it's Rattler? Okay. I don't know why I thought Show would start because you know why? Because the fantasy projections had Show kind of being like the main guy. That's why. So, okay.
He was the rookie pick, but they're going with Spencer Rattler. So that's
okay. So then now it changes my opinion because I think Rattler is a little raw for his talent. Like I think he's a solid QB. Like maybe like top 25, right? Like maybe at best. I don't know. I would say the biggest problem is just there's so many holes on the team. You guys have some strengths, but like there's too many weaknesses. I think there's like it's harder to pick.
To me,
I think the receiving it's different if you at least had some talent on the offense. Like Kamara is the obviously elite talent, and Olave when healthy is a good receiver. But I don't know about him being a number 1.
I like Rashid Shaheed.
Oh, Shaheed is good. Shaheed's good. Like I'm not, but like the whole thing is like when you look at, for example, right? Like we're talking about like team,
of course, apples and oranges. Yeah.
You want to have that top guy. You want to have the elite player. Like having a guy like that it makes a difference. Yeah, I think Kamara regardless have a good year. I just think I don't know. I agree with you guys. I think he'll probably be on a different team by the deadline. We'll see what team that is. I don't know. I have to kind of think about that for a little bit because it's just like there's so many different options and possibilities there. But I think there'll be like around a 3 to 5 win team. But if you're a Saints fan, I know you're a Saints fan. Any other Saints fans watching? Next year will be the year you guys can have full excitement because I think the draft will genuinely be really good next year, and I think you guys are well positioned to kind of take advantage and have some good talent going into next year. But try to enjoy the positives of this year when you can. I think there'll be some moments, of course. You know,
I think if there's one team that's on the brink of maybe making playoffs, they need that one star running back to push them over the edge. I think it would be the Dallas Cowboys, and I think if Kamara gets traded, he would end up in Dallas.
Not anymore.
I don't want to see him there.
Not anymore. I'm sorry. I don't want to
see him there.
I am completely off that. I'm not even just as a Giants fan. Obviously, I hate the Cowboys. I hate like the Eagles. I don't even like the Commanders, but Commanders are less like on the hate side because I think Jaden Daniels is great. But their team is just in shambles, dude. I don't even think they're like. I think you're right. Like the team that would trade for him probably would be the Cowboys. But if I'm Kamara, I do not want to go to Dallas. I don't want to go to Dallas. I don't want to go there. It's been a complete utter like, for lack of better terms, a shit show there. Like it's been bad. The Micah Parsons situation is so bad. Like he's a
That's
blank
crazy.
check player. Any other team goes in, gets the contract done immediately. They say, okay, we'll contact representation, we'll get it done. The fact that he had the mandate and they didn't wait. They could have waited. They could have said, hey, we'll wait till March. Like every other team said, wait till March. You'll get better offers. You have more options. You trade him before the season starts for 2 first-round picks, possibly late picks, and Kenny Clark, who's a good player, but like he's on the end of his career. He's past his prime now. I mean, they're that one team that I'm like they're on a blow it up watch. Like I think their team next year could be their next offseason could be them trading CeeDee Lamb, Dak being gone, like things like that happening potentially because I just think they're going to be that bad. I think this year. I don't know why.
They have my glorious king, George Pickens.
Hey, funny thing about Pickens though, right? Funny thing about Pickens is guess who his agent is? The same agent that Micah Parsons had. They didn't even want to talk to him. So think about that there. So that could even be a bad situation now. Pickens might not even get a contract there.
How many crash outs this season do you reckon Pickens will have in this Cowboys team? I'm going. What's the line? Do you think?
I'd say I'll be generous. 2.5 line. I'm taking the over for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I
couple crash outs.
I say we don't see much, maybe one. I think that he's gonna be in an offense this year where he's gonna get the ball.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. I think Dak's
but
one
he
of the
still will crash out if they lose.
Yeah, but Dak, that's the thing. Dak is a generous quarterback when it comes to pass the ball. He always drops some big stats. He always gets his players the ball. So it's like I have CD in fantasy. I want to see CD get the ball. I want to see CD become, and I want to see CD be a wide receiver 1 in the league. Like I want to see that, but I don't know if that's going to translate to wins. It's similar to like the Bengals situation, but like way lesser degree. Like I think there'll be a good enough offense to maybe win them like 7 games, 8 games. Losing Micah Parsons for that kind of return, man, it's a damper, man. It's a demoralizer, really. It's a demoralizer.
They won't have anyone defending them on live TV as well on podcasts because that guy's just out of the door and he defended the Cowboys with his life. That's something that, again, when you talk about casual fans, you just see Micah Parsons on all these shows just backing up the Dallas Cowboys, and now that's not going to happen. So
Jerry Jones doesn't make it any better, though. Jerry Jones does not make it any better. He comes out and says some wild statements, man. And it's like it's sometimes it's a little concerning, So
yeah, for sure,
you got to look at it. And again, I know Cowboys fans might be watching, hearing that, saying, "Man, like you don't know what you're talking about." But like, I don't know, man. Usually, when a team starts out with that much dysfunction, it doesn't usually mean well for a season. That's all I'm saying.
For sure. We'll go on to sort of the rookies and sort of the young players that we should be looking at this year. We talked about Aston Gently, if I said that correctly. We also have a few other upcoming players such as Cam Ward, who's quarterback in Tennessee, and also notably Travis Hunter. The one thing I want to ask about him is obviously he's a dual position player. He can play both on the offense and defensive end. Where realistically do you see Travis Hunter playing this season? Because I know for us, when looking at fantasy draft, he was someone that we were obviously scared of drafting because of that fear that he was going to play that defensive position more.
I'll start off, I guess, just brief. I really do think he's going to play majority of the season like that, just because, again, like when you talk about the NFL, it's not like other sports where you play every other day or every other week. Like it's once a week, so you might be able to get a little more run at him. I think he's going to want to play more offense because I think it's just as a player, as a skill player, a lot of times you have that satisfaction. But I think depending on matchup, so I think if he gets a really great matchup where he's playing like, let's just say he's playing Justin Jefferson. I have to look at their schedule, who they're playing. Let's just say he's playing a Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson. I know for a fact his ego and his pride that he has, he's going to want to be the guy to say, I want to take on that guy. I want to be the DB that day. So it all depends on matchup for me, but I do think as a skill player in his position and honestly, with the talent on their team, I do think they do really desperately need that wide receiver 1. And I think he's really talented. So I would say wide receiver, but again, like, I don't know. I think it's matchup dependent.
So on the team's depth chart, he is the wide receiver 2 and the DB 4. So I think we see 85% of his plays this year on offense and a very small portion on defense. But I definitely don't think we'll be seeing too much of him playing both in a single game.
No. It's a lot
Yeah.
to put on a guy. That's like a lot of
Sure.
injury risk. You're playing both sides of the ball. It's tough, you know what I mean?
It is. I can imagine. How would be the media coverage going into it when he does play in that defensive position, or they do switch? I think it would be quite crazy.
I think always that you're going to see the media reactions kind of overreact a little bit. You're always going to hear people kind of like, okay, especially like the Stephen A. Smiths of the world and a lot of people like in ESPN and other sports networks that are more public and live, like crazy, right? They're always going to have some hot takes about it. I think generally, though, I think people are going to give him slack just for the fact he's on the Jaguars. You talk about the Jaguars team, they're another team, I think, unless Trevor Lawrence comes out and just has a crazy season, I don't envision them doing much this year, even with Travis Hunter being added. So I think the incompetency of that team and them not being as great of a team will have the kind of the pressure off him a little bit. Because I think if he performs, it's like, oh, wow, great. Like you have this guy. But even if he doesn't play well at one position, let's say he plays great receiver, he's not a great DB. It's like, okay, we know then, okay, he's not going to play DB anymore. He's just going to play receiver. So that's kind of the leeway he gets a little bit. But the issue comes if he's not good at either. That's when it's like, okay, like now you're not good at DB. You can't play receiver. What did we draft you for? So, which I don't think will be the case. But again, that's just the risk.
Just wanted to take a moment to thank you guys for tuning into another episode of the Huddle Within podcast. If you do enjoy episodes like this, or this episode specifically, be sure to leave a comment and a 5-star review wherever you do get your podcasts. It'd be also great if you could like and subscribe wherever you do get your podcasts, so we can continue to show this out to people that see sports exactly the way that you do. But without further ado, let's get straight back into it.
So I think that somebody that just got drafted this year is going to be a top 5 tight end in 3 years. I think he's going to absolutely blow up, not just fantasy, just in general. I think that Tyler Warren out of Penn State in Indianapolis is going to absolutely explode on that offense.
Great pick. It's a great pick.
I think the tight end spot is, when drafted, isn't really looked at that much. But I think Tyler Warren, he's a great blocker. But when it comes to his receiving work, he's insane. He doesn't have much competition on that team, so I really think he's going to take a big step this year and these next few years. I think he's going to blow up.
I think he gets rookie
I
of
love
the
that
year.
take. I love that take. I like Tyler Warren a lot, and I think that's a strong take. I think he's going to be really good too. I'm going to be selfish here and talk about the Giants a little bit. Abdul Carter, the guy looks unbelievable, man. The guy is a freaking defense. He's our whole defense right now. Like watching him on the field, like he gets so much pressure on the quarterback. He could play back and play a little bit more of the pass game too. He's active, he's energetic, and I think he has such a big effect on like the other guys around him too. I feel like Thibodeau, guys like Dexter Lawrence, they're going to have such an easier time getting to the QB, having that pressure because now you have one guy just taking up so much space on the field. And we've seen guys like that come in and do their thing, like Micah Parsons. And I think Micah Parsons is an easy comparison because they both went to Penn State and everything like that. But I don't want to get that type of hype yet because I think Micah Parsons is just so dang good that like I feel like, it's setting a bar really high. But I just can't help but be so excited to watch him play. And again, as a Giants fan, it's obviously like could be biased, but I think he looks so good, and I think he's going to do a lot of great things this year. I think he's going to be penciled in for me easily as like the rookie defensive player of the year for the NFC. So that's probably an easy pick, I guess, for most people. But that's probably my guy. I would say.
So would you say that obviously you've chosen him as defensive rookie of the year? Who would be your offensive rookie of the year, TJ? Would you say Tyler Warren from that choice?
Yeah, I would say so. In the AFC, I think AFC is going to be him, Tyler Warren, absolutely. NFC, I don't think anybody offensively is going to keep up with Golden in Green Bay.
Yeah,
I think
that Buka has a chance from the Buccaneers. He's the only other guy, though, I think that could come to mind.
Yeah,
he's the only one. But I think Golden's going to be way higher, though. He's going to get a lot more touches, I feel like.
I feel like at the end of the day, Mbuka still has Mike Evans and a little bit of Kate Otten. Godwin's going to return. But when you look at that Green Bay offense, outside of Josh Jacobs, that wide receiver room is just a mess.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be finally they're going to have somebody solidified as their wide receiver.
Yeah. I would say that too. For the AFC, As much as I want to pick Tyler Warren to win that, I do think Cam Ward or Genty will win it because I just think Genty's going to get
I
a
think
lot more
Genty
reps.
too.
I think he's going to be on a better. I think he's going to be on a better team. And I just think that at the end of the day, like a running back going for like if he goes for let's just say some crazy like 1,500 yards, or let's not even go that high, like 1,250, 1,200 yards, 1,300 yards, whatever, and he has like 10, 11 touchdowns or something like that, like something crazy. I just think it's hard to beat that type of thing. So I would say him or maybe Cam Ward off rip because it's like kind of like okay, like especially if the Titans do perform really well with Cam Ward. But I mean, Tyler Warren's got to be in the conversation at least, though. He's so dang good, man. He was really good at Penn State, and I think he has a lot of qualities that will carry over to the NFL. So
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Ashton Genty as well. I think for me, he's the
yeah,
one that's going to be
he's going to
exciting
be
for me to
exciting.
watch. Just as a running back, just to see someone in the top 10, as you've mentioned, go so early in the draft in that position, especially when it's predicated. A lot of people might be controversial when it comes to this, but a lot of it's predicated on a lot of run blocking. But you still got to give credit for running backs to run through the offense. I think in that alone, he's going to have the opportunity to have the ball and sort of carry yards as well. The last person I want to talk about, and we can't, I think, not mention him. The starting, is he penciled the starting quarterback for the Browns? Probably not. I think it's Flacco, but he's quarterback two. It's Shador Sanders, round 5. Crazy. Like, obviously, a lot of things came out with his attitude and whatnot. We had the Falcons GM son call him and prank call him saying he's coming to the Saints. I was high on him. I don't know what's to go with him. I don't know how he went in preseason, but
Politics, a
what are we
lot of I
thinking?
feel like that's the NFL politics right there. I think him being the son of the primetime, primetime Sanders like that, and his just the way he carries himself. I get the attitude part, don't get me wrong, but attitude should not be the lone reason you make a guy as talented as him go to round 5. And I think in the preseason, I thought he looked pretty good too. I thought he looked pretty solid. I'm not saying he looked like the best quarterback, you know what I mean? But like he looked really good. I thought he played really well. He showed some athleticism and he showed he could pass like the best of them. So I don't know. Like I just feel like a lot of teams are going to look back at that and say, why did we like make that kind of like that decision like based off one thing? Like he had so much going for him, so much. I don't
We
know.
should have taken him. I think we
Yeah,
should have taken him. I think he was
I
there
agree.
available for us, and we chose Tyler Show. He might be good, but he had injury problems all his college years, so I don't understand it. But
To
do
take
you
him at
think
a,
he'll start
mm,
Eventually.
eventually?
I
Eventually
Eventually.
is
think
The
what I'm
only
eventually.
asking.
I
Yeah,
don't
the
think
only
Flacco's
other
going to run for that long, man. I think they got to put him in there at some point.
he's definitely gonna start eventually, but I feel like right off rip, you gotta look at it this way also. He goes to Cleveland. Mind you, I don't know if it was round 3 or 4. They drafted another quarterback before him.
5, round 5.
Yeah,
Wow.
so you look at it that way and it's like, all right, what about this other guy that got drafted before Shador? I'm not sure he played in the preseason, but now it's like you're just gonna forget about him, or did that rub Shador the wrong way? Like you just took a quarterback right before me. It's just I don't know. I feel like that QB room is gonna be a lot of problems.
I don't think Shador is looking at it that way though, because I think he just at that point was just happy he got drafted because it looked
Mm,
like it was getting to that point where it's like, is he
it
gonna even
really
get
was.
drafted? There was very close. Like it was close. Like he was 2 rounds away from being an undrafted player that was honestly going in projected as like a top 15, top 20 pick with this talent. So it's like you're getting a top 15. That's why I said for the Saints they should have taken that risk because I think at that point what do you have to lose? If anything, you could just take him, start him, see how he does. If he doesn't play that well, then you just move off him and just draft the QB next year. You have
100%.
nothing to really lose with that. So it's
100%.
like, especially in the later rounds, like I feel like it's
Yeah,
different.
round 3 we got Tyler Show. We could have easily got him. Like maybe Tyler Show blows me out the park and proves me wrong, but
Yeah,
nothing's
no, for
showing me
sure.
that he could when you have
But
him on the board.
I don't know. I just think a lot of teams are gonna regret that decision. It's just like it just feels like it was so overplayed that whole narrative about him. But again, right now it's Joe Flacco starting. I guess we'll see what happens when he steps in, but we'll
Yeah,
see.
we'll have to wait and see. This will be interesting. I think it's a good storyline. It's an opportunity for Shador to prove a lot of people wrong, especially with all that gear and sort of that would have been a big blow to sort of his ego as well. So a time to sort of humble him too, and yeah, prove a lot of people wrong. But we'll move on to, I guess, first week of the season. We're going to do a quick rapid fire of who we think is going to take out the first game. So we're going to start with obviously the first game between Eagles and Cowboys. I'm obviously going to go for the Eagles. Give me your quick rapid fire pick as we go through all these 16 game
Eagles,
weeks.
Eagles,
All right,
Eagles,
quick,
man.
that's done.
The
Perfect. All
Birds.
right, we've got Chargers and Chiefs next. I'm going with the Chiefs.
I want to pick the Chargers so bad, but I'm going to take the Chiefs, obviously.
Yeah, Chiefs, 100%.
Colts and Dolphins. It's a Colts. Is it a Dolphins home game? If it's a
If
Dolphins
it's a
home
Dolphins
game,
home game, if it's a
I'm
Dolphins home game,
I'm
I'm
gonna
taking
confirm this.
Dolphins.
Yeah, I have to see how this sort of is structured. Lucas Oils, it's actually a Colts home game. I might go with the Colts on that one, actually.
Yeah, I don't know. They've had a hard time winning outside of Miami, so I'm taking the Colts. I think too.
I'm
Even though
going
Daniel,
to Miami. I don't think Daniel Jones is.
yeah, that's
should
the
be
problem, man. That's the only problem. Yeah,
The
I'm
Jets
gonna
and
take the Colts.
Steelers.
Take the
TJ, you can
Colts.
start with this one. I wonder who you're going with.
I'm going with the New York Jets. Justin Fields is going to get his revenge and show why they should have kept him.
I got the Jets too. Actually, I feel like this is a surprise game. This will be a shocker. I think people will be like, "Wow, like Jets start off 1-0, like against the Steelers." Like I just think the Jets will come out and win this one somehow. I don't know why.
I actually agree with you. I think the Jets will get it done too. I think that it's a great way to sort of start their season. You going to go to the game, TJ?
No, I'm going week 2. Week 2.
Okay, nice. Next one is Jaguars Panthers. Oof, I think Jaguars will get this one. Both two.
I'm gonna take Jaguars too. Yeah, I think Jaguars will get that
Jaguars
one.
at
Yeah,
home
Jaguars.
too.
I think Trevor Lawrence takes a step this year. Go Jaguars.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll be the last one for this one. Saints versus Cardinals. Saints home.
I'm taking the Cardinals, bro. I'm sorry. I take the Cardinals.
I'm taking the Cardinals.
Their offense is so good, and your defense is just. I don't know if they're good enough to like just hold them down, and the offense is going to keep getting off the field. I don't know.
I'm riding with the Saints. AK 2 touchdowns. Chris Olave 150 yards.
Hey man, if it happens,
Spencer
that'd be a
Rattler,
crazy
Spencer
start to the
Rattler
season.
legacy game. Let's go.
That'd be a
I'm all
crazy start
Saints
to
here,
the season,
baby.
bro. That'd be a crazy start to the season.
Yeah, it'll be good for us. We're playing at home. There's a big chance, but realistically, I don't think we'll win. But I can't say that we can't because I'm a Saints boy all day. We got Commanders and Giants. First, I'm taking Commanders. Sorry, Kenny. All
Oh my
day.
god. Listen, unbiasedly, I'm going to take Commanders, but screw that. I'm taking the Giants. They're going in. Abdul Carter is shutting down Jaden Daniels week 1. We're getting a win. Our defense is going to lead the way. Russ is going to throw a 90-yard touchdown to Malik Neighbors down the field, and it's over.
I'm going with the New York Giants also.
You're really riding that New York wave, you guys.
No, I just think McLaurin's sitting out for a bit. Running back room is young. Jaden Daniels had a great season. Steps back a little bit. I'm gonna go with the New York Giants.
I like
That's
that.
crazy. That's the craziest one. Well, the next crazy game, Falcons Buccaneers. I'm gonna go Falcons home game. Tight one though.
I'm going to take Buccaneers.
Yeah, I'm going Buccaneers. I'm going Buccaneers that one.
I just think the experience there is just going to be too much. I think Michael Penix's first game, if he goes off, great. But I don't know. I have to still see. I have to wait to see.
We got Browns and Bengals.
Listen,
That's
like I said,
I'm going to go Bengals. I'm going to say they finally get it. I'm going to say Bengals finally get their one. They're starting out 1-0 finally. Because if they don't do it here, I don't know if they'll ever do it. So 1-0 here, they're going to get their win.
I think division game is closer than people think, but Bengals.
They are, yeah. That's why I said they're usually close, but I don't know. I can't pick the Browns here, bro. I gotta take the Bengals.
I'm going with the Bengals too. I got the Patriots and the Raiders.
That's a great game. I'm excited about that one. I'm gonna take the Patriots. I'm gonna take the Patriots, man. I don't know. Taking the Patriots.
I gotta go with the Raiders. I just think the offense is a little bit better.
Give me the Raiders too. I'm gonna take the Raiders as well. I'm really excited to see how they go.
That's good. I like that game a lot. I'm excited for that game. I got to ride with my underrated pick there.
Yeah. We got the Seahawks versus.
I'm gonna go 49ers.
Teams you haven't spoke about much.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 49ers. There's just hasn't been much going on there. I feel like so. I'm gonna just go 49ers.
Yeah, I think 49ers. Seahawks got a little bit to figure out.
I'm gonna go Seahawks on this one, just to make it interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, Seahawks home game. The crowd might be up. Bit of Cooper Cup magic. You never know. Just as a bit of a hot take. I had to get one in, Always in tipping, you got to choose one. And I'm going to go Seahawks in this one. Got Broncos Titans coming up next.
I'm going Broncos. I think Cam Ward's going to get blitzed out of his mind this series. I think the Broncos are going to show their experience. Their defense is unbelievable. I think they're probably a top 3 defense this year. I just think Cam Ward's going to have a lot to handle. If he comes out of that one with the win, it's impressive. I'll say that. So I'm going to say the Broncos.
I feel like if it was in Tennessee, it would be a close game. But with it being in Denver, Mile High.
Yeah, that's going to be one of those week 1 35 to 8 level games in my opinion. I don't know why.
Yeah, give me the Broncos too there. And now we're getting to some interesting ones. Sunday Night Football, probably the matchup of the round in my opinion. The Packers taking on the Lions. Who we got?
I'll start.
Haven't the Lions had the Packers number the past few years or something like that? Was it or the other way around? I forget.
I think that's the Lions.
I forget. I think I'm gonna take I'm going to take the Lions because I think there's a chance Micah Parsons misses week 1. So if he misses week 1, I think I might still take the Lions either way, because I just think inserting Micah in there, it's still an adjustment a little bit. I think they might go in a little overhyped week 1 with that trade. So I think the Lions are going to come in and show why they're the model of consistency the past few years of being one of those top teams, take down the Packers.
I think Detroit is just such a well-built, well-rounded team. I think Detroit comes out on top.
Yeah, I'm also going with the Lions there. We have the Rams and Texans. Texans also we haven't talked about. Can CJ Stroud make up for his sophomore slump?
Oh, man. I'm taking the Rams there. I like the Rams better personally.
Yeah, me too.
Especially with no Joe Mixon. I got to take the
I
Rams.
100% think this is going to be the highest scoring game of the week, but I'm going to take the Rams.
That's a good point, actually. That's a good call there.
And we got the Bears and Vikings for Monday Night Football. 2 matches on Monday Night Football.
No, I think it's just Sunday night is the Ravens Bills.
Right. Yeah.
So
I get confused. We got Monday morning here.
I know
on the Australian time. It just cooks me sometimes, the time zones.
I guess Ravens
So
Bills
we'll start
first.
with exactly. Yeah, so that's Sunday night. So we got Bills and Ravens. Yes,
I'm going the Ravens, but it's just because I think they improved on their defense, and I do think Lamar. I think Lamar is going to have another good year. They still got Derrick Henry, got their Zay Flowers, these guys, Mark Andrews, of course. I like the Ravens this one.
We didn't talk much about them either, which is interesting. But
it's just so you kind of know what you're going to get from them at this point. Like I think they're not like some overrated, or they're kind of properly where they are. Like they're in a good spot.
100%.
Like I said before, I think the Bills take a step back this year. I feel this year it's going to be harder for them to beat the top tier teams, so I'm going to take the Ravens.
Yeah, that's a fair take.
I'm gonna stick with the Bills. I'm gonna ride with the former MVP in Josh Allen, and I think that he'll get them over the line in the first game at home in Buffalo. And then we'll finish off with Monday Night Football. I got it correct. Bears taking on the Vikings.
Man,
give me the Minnesota Vikings. I think
I'm gonna take the Vikings. Well, JJ McCarthy's officially starting. He's the starter. He's week 1, right? He's starting week 1. Yeah, I don't know. I still have questions about Caleb Williams, man. I don't know. I'm not set on him yet. I still think he has some things to prove, things to show. He has to show kind of a little bit more. I feel like last year he didn't show so much flashes that I liked, and I like the Vikings' weapons, and their defense is still going to be good. So I take the Vikings there too.
I'll also take the Vikings too.
I feel like Chicago, they're going to take a step back when it comes to running the ball, and it's going to be more of a passing attack. I think Odunze steps up big this year. New tight end. I feel like in the beginning they're slow start, but I think they'll pick it up at the end of the year.
I feel like he's due. I feel like Odunze is due. He was good enough to be a wide receiver 2 last year, and I feel like they had him under Keenan Allen, and DJ Moore obviously is going to be receiver 1, but have him with DJ Moore for a little bit, and then they even had some other guys step in there. I feel like Odunze is well deserved to be the wide receiver 2 there. I think he'll have a good year.
Sweet. And I think I'll wrap it up with our Super Bowl team predictions.
Yeah.
You guys actually can start.
I'm going Ravens-Eagles.
Ravens-Eagles.
I think the Eagles make it back, and I think that the Ravens and Derrick Henry, especially, just have an amazing year. Derrick Henry, last season of just him being dominant, I think they go through the AFC no problem.
I agree with the Ravens. I think the Ravens are going to make it out this year. I don't know why. I think it's like the fun pick. I think it's a fun pick because it's also like they haven't been there in a while, so I like that. Man, it's so tough. I'm going to take the Lions. I'm going to ride with the Lions. I want to take the Packers, or I don't think the Eagles will go back there again this year. I have a feeling there's gonna be some type of drop off this year. I feel like it's just bound to happen. The Super Bowl teams, they have that little hangover. I think the Lions are due. I think Detroit's due for something big to happen, whether they win it or not. I think them making the Super Bowl is just good enough for them to feel satisfied. I think their fan base is hungry for it. I think that team is hungry for it. Jared Goff, I think he's shown he could be a Super Bowl level QB. He's made it that far. He could make it there again. Jahmyr Gibbs gonna have a big year, I think, and you have. I think Jamison Williams is gonna have a big year this year. He's on a couple of my fantasy teams I drafted this year. I think Jamison Williams is the guy to watch out this year as a breakout player of the year. I think he's gonna have a big time year.
So no Packers. Packers don't get through there.
I wanted to, but I just think that I want to give the Lions the benefit of the doubt. I think they've been the team together, a better constructed team for a little bit of time now. So I want to give them the shot. I think they'll make it.
I'm going to go Lions, and honestly, I have no idea who I'm going to pick in.
It's a tough. There's a few teams I really like too. Like I did like. Obviously, you could always rely on the Chiefs, right, as a fallback.
Yeah, but that's such a boring pick.
Yeah, it is. I think I'll be honest with you. I think if you want to go sleeper teams, I said they were overrated before, but the Bengals could be a sleeper team that could still make. They could go to the Super Bowl. And I think personally, the Broncos or the Bills, I think they're always going to. I think the Broncos have elevated themselves as a top team now in that conference, and I think the Bills are always going to be in there just because of Josh Allen. But
you know what? Give me the Bills. Let's go, Josh Allen. I was going to say
like
Broncos.
That.
I was tossing between Broncos
They're
and
another
Bills.
one too. They've been so Bills, close. Man. They've been so close so many years now to get past. They just can't beat Mahomes in that game, bro. They
no wide receivers, nothing, not much weapons.
If he does that,
Josh Allen.
I'll tell you right now, people are going to have some uncomfortable conversations about Josh Allen if he comes out this year and wins the Super Bowl with this team. I'll tell you that right now.
But I think they get there, and I'll make my pick. The Lions going to win it all. I think they get there, and then the Lions just blow them over the park. So
I would probably say Ravens take the Lions down if they get those two matchup. I just think it would be a lot for them to handle, and I think, again, I just think Lamar is just a guy. I feel like I cannot see him not winning a Super Bowl. I feel like that would be his chance, and I feel like if he doesn't win it, then it'd be like, wow, like I don't know, because Derrick Henry's getting only getting older. A couple of their guys getting older. I feel like this is a perfect year for them to take advantage and take over and win.
I say at the deadline, Ravens go out, get a wide receiver, a top wide receiver, and solidify themselves as champions this year.
Who do you think? If you had to pick a receiver really quick, who do you think would it be? Who do you think it would be to go get? Like a guy that you think could be on the. I think Tyreek Hill is a guy I'm going to throw out there right now as an option for them to go get. I'm going to put that out there right now. I think Tyreek Hill is a guy that they throw him on that team, they will win a Super Bowl.
Crazy.
Tyreek Hill would be great, but Rushi's boy over here, Olave. If he stays healthy, you have Olave and Flowers at the 1-2. Mark Andrews, he took a step back last year, but you just need to spread. You need to take all the pressure off Derrick Henry, and I think if they go out and get a wide receiver,
they're going to be low in the box this year. Just know that teams are low in the box against the Ravens this year, so they got to have some passing game for sure. They have to make sure they can pass the ball. So that's going to be another big key for them.
Well, we got to wrap this one up based on time and whatnot. But the last thing I do want to say is for those that are looking to sort of get into NFL or have listened to this podcast and now have considered it, what would you say to them to watch this season, and what would you kind of recommend to those people?
So I'll start really quick. I feel like everybody that comes in, I feel like the best thing to get into it are really just if you have no team you have specifically you want to root for, get Red Zone. Red Zone is a big thing. Get Red Zone. You can watch every big highlight that happens in every week. And I would say get into fantasy football. I think fantasy football has opened the doorway to people outside of sports, and even you see people in their jobs. Like you see women that don't really watch sports like that maybe come in and they step in and they start watching it because they got their fantasy team there, like with their job. Get involved with some friends. Say, hey, let's start a fantasy league. We'll wing the draft the first year. Let's watch. Let's throw some money on it. So much fun to watch. I would say
gamble responsibly.
Yeah, gamble responsibly. But it would be a lot of fun to kind of get into that, and you'll see yourself kind of just enjoying every Sunday, just like everybody else. It's just so much fun to watch. So that would be my only tip.
Monday during the day for us in Australia.
Yeah,
for listening.
Monday,
during your work hours, best time.
I 100%. Everybody knows I love fantasy football. I love versing my boys and talking crap. That's my favorite part of it. For any sport. But if you can, I would say go to a game. Go to games, the atmosphere, every play, the place is either erupting or you just hear everybody booing, or just the atmospheres of football games, tailgating, the traditions each team has. It's awesome.
It's true. I didn't get to see a tailgate. For those that don't know what tailgate is, it's basically everyone's got their cars with barbecues outside the stadium or in a certain park area. It's what makes the culture of NFL very unique to a lot of different sports.
And it's rain or shine. It's going through. It's not. It's no like, oh, it's raining, we're not doing it. There has been times in the snow. Buffalo Bills fans in the snow go out and tailgate in the parking lot when it's a blizzard out there. They're drinking, eating, everything, intense, whatever. They get set up. It's some of the most magical. It's like the most magical thing to watch with NFL fandom is.
I got to get down to a tailgate. I got to get down to a tailgate when I come. I got to
Yeah.
get down and see you guys in New York
Oh
and
yeah.
go see an NFL game again.
MetLife tailgates are great. You get the
I've never
MetLife
been
tailgates are so much fun, dude. So much fun. The weather's usually around, especially between like September and November. Weather's really nice and chilly. It's not too bad, not too cold at the time. Maybe you might get a little. Apparently, we're gonna get an earlier winter this year, according to the like. I don't know if everybody knows like the Farmer's Almanac, that whole thing, but
No.
apparently we're supposed to get a winter.
Got
Earlier
a lot
winter.
of Aussies on this podcast listening.
Sorry, bro. Sorry. I listen earlier winter this year over in the States potentially. So that just something to keep aware of. But come out for a game, definitely. It's worth every penny. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's worth every penny.
Go see these two guys. They'll take you out on a nice game if you get the link, man.
Yeah.
Pound some beers, baby. Get some beers in, get some food in your system, and go out and enjoy some football, bro. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm super keen for it. I'm also super keen for fantasy. I've changed my name to TJ's Voodoo. I'm hoping the energy flows in. We ain't getting that George Pickens one game this season. We better not. So I'm really keen for it.
I changed my name, TJ. I changed my name. For the listeners, me and TJ had a rivalry the past few years. I've been beating him up quite a bit, but last year he handed me a few L's. I gotta change the name. I used to be TJ's Boogeyman. Now I have to look at my team there. I forgot what I changed it to, but I'm no longer the Boogeyman until proven otherwise.
I've come in and we're the new rivalry, man. I'm sorry, Kenny. We've sort of phased you out, man. Me and TJ are backing up first and second. But
that's the fun part. It changes year in and year out, though. That's the fun part about it.
This year. I'm not gonna lie, boys. I don't like the way my team's looking. I'm not confident, but we'll see how we go.
Back-to-back champ. I have Nico Collins, Ashton Genty, Bijan Robinson. I can promise you, if all those are expected to be what they are,
I don't know how they
let you do not.
Yeah, the only way you're gonna win it is by like a miracle sort of voodoo game from I don't know whoever's in the final, their player, like last year.
I don't know whoever let you get those three guys all together
Can we tell everyone, Kenny, about how he's won like the first season when you told me he won on the last play?
I remember this vividly because I was in the car with my friends that also watched this. So I'm celebrating because I'm like, oh, I won. Like this is over. Like he has no chance. He has Tyler Lockett, one of the receivers in Seattle at the time. I'm up like 7 points. Yeah, I'm up 7 points at the time. And the game's almost done. It's like, all right. TJ even threw the towel. He was like, Ken, congrats, whatever, this and that. I was like,
garbage time. Complete garbage time.
Complete garbage time. Like I was like, there's no way. I just checked my phone 2 minutes after, and I just see Tyler Lockett 40-yard touchdown, and it just gets him above the tick line. And I had Zamir White at the time, the Raiders running back. He was like the third string running back. He had filled in now as like the RB1 since other injuries and stuff happened. And I was like, I need Zamir White to give me 10 yards. And the game was ending, and they pulled him out last week of the year. And I was like, I just lost off a buzzer beating, pretty much touchdown to Tyler Lockett. It had no meaning at all, just random. And I lost by 0.9 points or something like that. And TJ won the championship that year because he had Tyler Lockett in the starting lineup and he got a touchdown. I was like, bro, I can't believe this.
And then he ended up going back to back, winning by 0.6, even less against me.
Skating by.
Because good old mate George Pickens decided that he wanted to drop the ball 3 times in the last game to get me 1 fantasy point. I had ESPN telling me that James Cook wasn't going to come on the field. He ended up coming on the field and getting a touchdown. That would have been enough for me to win it. And then my biggest mistake, and this is the regret that I have the most, and you guys can talk about George Pickens, but it was me, for some reason, getting up at 6 a.m. in the morning, waking up, realizing that it's game day, that I gotta change my lineup. I gotta put Tyreek Hill in for Jacoby Myers. If I never woke up that early, and I never do, I always wake up at like 8, which the game's already started, I would have had a Jacoby Myers 25-point game, but he was on the bench.
It was solidified.
Tyreek Hill got 3 points. And then when I thought there was still a chance, it was Justin Jefferson taking on Jameis Williams and whatever. I'm losing my head thinking about this. Lions, Vikings. I'm up 3 points. And Jeffers misses a catch in the first game, and then Detroit Lions just completely blow us down the park. I knew it was over. And I remember lying down on the floor here, just contemplating my life because of how fast. Man, that was
all
crazy.
The audio listeners, just small little convo here. This is just like a fraction of like just the conversation that happened throughout the year. This is just
fantasy football.
this is the kind of passion it brings out sometimes. It's like, it's so exciting. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah, and we do it for all sports too. We got it for NBA as well. The boys made his debut. Kenny's hasn't been good since he's come in. TJ's come in straight away, second place.
I still didn't forget to all the people.
You got to wake up for the draft this time.
I gotta wake up, but I'm still in line to do my punishment. I'm not forgotten. So just so they know, I'm not backing out. I'm still doing it. I have some time. I'm gonna get it done, and that's it.
Yeah, TJ's got to record it for evidence. But yeah, this is the beauty of fantasy sports. While we go sort of off topic there, because we all met through that, and that's how we've sort of created this bond and got on a podcast. And even though that we're from other parts of the world, we're still talking about sports, and that's what it's all about, and that's what we love here. So it's a great way to end it. Again, thank you, boys, for jumping on, talking all things NFL. Hopefully, those that are listening get some more NFL knowledge. I certainly have more of an intake and makes me more keen to go into this season and look out for all these takes and players. And then maybe at the end of the season, we can circle back to this moment and see, and even week 1 and see how we landed on our tips as well. So, again, thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
we'll see you soon for fantasy, baby. We'll see you soon.
Yes, sir. Take care, guys. Cheers.
Yeah.
So that's a wrap for this week's episode of the Huddle With Him podcast. I appreciate you for tuning in and being part of this community where we go beyond the game and into what really matters. If this episode resonated with you, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who sees sports just the way that we do. And hey, I'd love to hear from you. Connect with me on my social medias, which will be linked below. Send in your thoughts and even be part of a future episode. Until next time, keep that passion alive, stay in the huddle, and remember, it's always deeper than the game. Cheers.